I just left a meeting and somebody asked me, what do I need to do to be ready to go on carnivore? And I thought, oh, that's a really good question, because for me, it was sort of a no-brainer. I had to do it. I had to explore it. It was another thing that I needed to try to do so that I could feel better. But it's interesting because a lot of people who are around me on a regular basis, they know that I'm just shy of 15 months. I've lost 150 pounds. I'm not, going to the gym every day. I need to be doing more of that, and I look very much forward to that. But I live a very busy life with work and running my business. So, but I have to be better at that. But what's interesting is that my journey, and you could hear more about that in my prior videos, but my journey started not because I was trying to lose weight. I was sick and tired of trying to go down the road of trying another diet. I'm going to lose weight and then I'm going to put it back on, yo-yo, all that. Everybody goes through that, right? But in that process, right, I got sick, and I had terrible inflammation. So for me, I don't know that there was a whole lot of necessarily prep time. But looking back, to answer that question and to get to the point, I highly recommend going and doing your homework on how this works. If you can understand how food functions inside your body, how your body responds to food, and the types of food, if you learn about that, the carnivore diet starts to make a lot more sense. I just was talking to somebody the other day who said, hey, you really inspired me. I'm going to give carnivore a shot. And that was a couple weeks back. And I just talked to them the other day, and I said, hey man, how's it going? Is carnivore working out for you? And they were like, yeah, it's working out good. I lost a couple of pounds. And I said, wow. I'm like, so you stayed with it for a couple of weeks? And they were like, well, no, I had a cheat day, and then there was this day where we were out to dinner and I didn't know what else to eat or whatever. And I was thinking to myself, like, I don't want to be discouraging, but that's not carnivore, right? Like, that's doing it for the wrong reason. And people can jump on like a keto diet. They can, they can try something like that if you want variation. I don't recommend that. I found that after what I've learned about the carnivore diet, with respect to how vegetables respond with your gut, there's a lot to it. So the short of what I'm trying to say is, what should you do to be prepared to go on carnivore? You should go learn about it. Find everybody who's talking about it. Listen to their, watch their videos, listen to the podcasts, do your homework, understand how that food works, understand how your body works. You don't need to go get a degree in nutrition or certification in nutrition. You don't need to do that. You might find yourself very interested. At this stage, I can tell you I'm interested, because it's fascinating to me how this works. And it's a game changer. It's an absolute life changer. So, but go learn. And you'll find it hard to be in a position to say, well, I'm going to have a cheat day, or, I have conversations with people today, and they say, like, well, how do you continue to do it? Like, isn't that miserable? You got to change your relationship with food. You have to respect it as a food source, as a source of energy, source of nutrition. You have to consider food as the thing that keeps you healthy. If you're in the wrong headspace and you're going at carnivore just because you want to lose weight, you're not going to stick with it. And more than likely, you're probably going to put a bunch of weight back on. I think what carnivore really is good at is the ultimate elimination diet. So if you had skin issues, if you had gut issues and you weren't sure, you were always like, man, I don't know what it is. Am I allergic to food? If that's where you're at, carnivore is the greatest elimination diet, because you could then start to reintroduce things later if that's what you choose to do, and you'll find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But you've got to give it at least 30 days. That's what I've been telling people. You've got to give it at least 30 days, and sometime in like that 2-week, 3-week range, you can get a little miserable with the change in your gut. Running to the bathroom, getting cramps. You're going to be like, man, is this right? Is this healthy? So it gets a little challenging, but put it on a calendar. Like, get to 30 days. Just get to 30 days, right? And then revisit the conversation. Like, I don't want to be mean to people, but when they're saying like, man, it sounds like hard, then don't do it. Right? Like, I don't know what advice to give. Like, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. I did it, and I convinced myself that there was nothing more miserable than how miserable I was going to be by continuing to feel the way I felt. So there was only looking up for me. Maybe you're not that motivated. Maybe you don't need to do something because of your health. But if you're watching this video, my guess is that you're trying to explore carnivore, and you want to get healthier, and maybe it is just losing weight, but go learn about it, please. Go learn about it. Go in the comment section here, ask me questions. I don't want to be some kind of self-proclaimed expert. I'm certainly not positioned to feel like that, but here's what I can tell you. I've learned a lot. I've studied this. I've been following all of the people who are putting out really good quality content. I've challenged it. I've debated it. I'm really excited. I'll be providing you guys a link, but I just in my hometown, there's a podcast that is a foodie-based podcast, and there's an MMA trainer, fighter, who was interested in having a discussion with me based on my health journey and knowing how much weight I lost, and my discussion around carnivore in particular. And so that podcast, it'll be on YouTube, it'll be on social, it'll be being released real soon. But we had a really good conversation, and I get to really tell people about my experience, and so I'll share that link with you guys soon in an upcoming video. But go in my comments, ask questions, and I want to help you learn. This has changed my life so much that I want to help other people change their lives. I've got my life back, and you can get your life back. There's so much to be unfolded that I want to hear your stories. I want to hear what you've been through, your experiences. Please subscribe, because I want to continue to do this. It feels a little strange in the beginning, but we're going to get through this. I'm going to build this up, and I hope to connect with a lot of you. I know some of my videos have been in car, as I've explained. This is when I've been finding time lately, but we're going to get in the studio soon. And I've got my team prepped up, and we're going to make some really cool videos. We've got some things coming up with respect to recipes, meals that I make at home, and yeah. So for those of you who keep following along in this early portion of making these videos, I genuinely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. comment, please, because I'm engaging with you guys, and I love hearing about some of your success stories and how carnivore has changed your life. And for those of you who are just entertaining the idea now, if I could be any bit of an influence to you for making that change, that warms my heart, does all the stuff that the reason I'm taking the time to make these videos. I want people to be healthy. So thanks, guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the comments.